Last time we had discussed two fundamental forces out of four, that is gravitational force and electromagnetic force. Gravitational force governed by Newton's law and electromagnetic force governed by Coulomb's law, which is analogous to Newton's law. You can note down as objective. The two masses in mechanics are analogous to the two charges in electricity, that is static, that is m1 m2 small letters are analogous to q1 q2 small letters, and universal gravitational constant capital G is analogous ANALOGOUS is analogous to Coulomb's constant K small letter. Both the laws are called inverse square laws. Now we study the third fundamental force, that is strong nuclear force. We deal with the description over here and the important words I have underlined. The strong nuclear force binds word is important, protons and neutrons in a nucleus. Without some attractive force, a nucleus would have been unstable due to the electric repulsion between the protons. This attractive force cannot be gravitational force, since this gravitational force is negligible in comparison to that of the electric force, that is Coulombian repulsive force. Now this can be explained in a simpler way as follows, and from the schematic diagram of a nucleus which I have drawn here, you can refer this diagram, and from the diagram we can study the constitution of the nucleus. Now description you can write down in your notebook, which is not given here, and it will be easier also. In the nucleus of an atom, there are protons which are positively charged particles and neutrons, neutral, that is chargeless in nature. Neutron was found out by the scientist Chadwick, that is just for your reference. Now, as neutrons do not possess any charge, there are positively charged particles inside the nucleus. Within a single sentence, if you want to write what is nucleus, you can write like this, write it down. The centralmost positive part of the atom upon which the entire mass of the atom is said to be concentrated is called nucleus. Now, as there are positive charges inside the nucleus, Coulombian repulsive force would be acting between them. As a result, the protons would go out of the nucleus, but it is not so. This makes us think that some force which is stronger than Coulombian repulsive force, and it overcomes this Coulombian repulsive force, should be acting in the opposite direction to that of Coulombian repulsive, which I have shown by SF, and Cr means Coulombian repulsive, due to which the protons are bound together inside the nucleus. Hence, instead of an unstable nucleus taking the consideration or due to the arise of strong nuclear force, the protons remain inside the nucleus only, and as a result the nucleus remains stable. Hence, the main function of strong nuclear force is to bind the protons and neutrons in a nucleus. Now, next point. Here, the sentence which has been quoted in bracket, a new basic force must therefore be invoked. Invoke means arise, and the reason for the strong nuclear force, why it arises, we can understand in our mind by the description which we have seen with the help of schematic diagram of nucleus. Now, properties of strong nuclear force. This force is the strongest of all the fundamental forces and about 100 times stronger than the electromagnetic force in strength. It is 100 times stronger than electromagnetic force. Next property is it is charge independent and it acts equally between two protons or two neutrons or proton and neutron. Its range is very small, that is of the order of 10 raised to minus 15 meter, given in bracket here. Hence, it is known as short range force. Whenever short range forces are there, it is strong in nature. All short range forces indicate strong force. It is also responsible for the stability of nuclei, which we discussed earlier in the diagram of nucleus. But as the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in different orbits, the electron does not experience this force. Only protons and neutrons experience this force. Protons and neutrons, according to the recent developments, are built of more elementary constituents called quarks. Hence, strong nuclear force is also known as quark-quark force. So, all the properties of strong nuclear force gets over. Now, the fourth and the last fundamental force, that is weak nuclear force. This force appears only in certain nuclear processes such as beta decay of a nucleus. In beta decay, the nucleus emits an electron and uncharged particle called neutrino. Now, the weak force, you can write this sentence in your notebook. Besides this, it is not given here. Now, the weak nuclear force arises due to the interaction of this neutrino and the other charged particles. Interaction of this neutrino with other charged particles like electron. Now, apart from this, I give you detailed explanation regarding beta decay. Say, here it is given that in beta decay the nucleus emits an electron. Now the question arises in our mind that how the electron is possible inside the nucleus, because electrons are revolving around the nucleus, that is outside the nucleus in different orbits. Then from where does this electron come from in the nucleus? The reason is that in the heavier elements, the ratio of proton and neutron for a stable atom is 1:1. But in the unstable elements, that is heavier elements and radioactive elements, the ratio of proton and neutron is not 1:1, but in certain cases the number of protons are slightly more than neutrons, or in the other case the number of neutrons are slightly more than protons. Now when the number of neutrons are slightly more than protons, the neutron gets converted into a proton, and during this conversion an electron and a neutrino, rather instead of neutrino, its antiparticle, that is antineutrino, is emitted. So as this electron and antineutrino are unstable, they cannot remain inside the nucleus and they go out of the nucleus. Hence, we can justify the statement the nucleus emits an electron and an uncharged particle called neutrino. So, beta decay, the explanation which is given here, that is of beta decay is of two types. One is beta plus decay and another is beta minus decay. Beta plus decay means instead of electron, positron is emitted. Means that case is not considered here. A proton gets converted into a neutron, and when P gets converted into N, positron is emitted and neutrino is emitted, and the weak nuclear force comes as a result. But here the description which is given here, that is beta minus decay, and in beta minus decay the nucleus emits an electron when neutron gets converted into proton. Means when neutron gets converted into proton, the nucleus emits an electron and an uncharged particle called neutrino, but not neutrino, instead of that antiparticle of neutrino, which is antineutrino. So this all details, but for the are enough for the detailed explanation of beta plus decay and beta minus decay. But according to from the examination point of view, the description which is given here, will be sufficient. Now, properties of weak nuclear force. It is stronger than gravitational force but much weaker than the strong nuclear and electromagnetic force. Much weaker than the strong nuclear force and electromagnetic force. Its range is very small, of the order of 10 raised to minus 16 meter, because of the range of the nucleus, that is of the order of 10 raised to, the nuclear radius is of the order of 10 raised to minus 15 meter approximately. So here of the order of 10 raised to minus 16 meter. So this finishes up all the 4 fundamental forces in nature. Now next topic, only certain sentences have to be quoted here for objectives towards unification of forces. This table not to be considered from the exam point of view. Now different scientists combined 2 types of forces and gave a new name, that is unified name, to the combined forces. First one was Newton. Newton unified terrestrial and celestial domains under a common law of gravitation. Terrestrial and celestial under common law of gravitation. Oersted and Faraday, 2 scientists together, showed that electric and magnetic phenomena are inseparable. Then came Maxwell. Maxwell unified electromagnetism and optics branch together and discovered that light is an electromagnetic wave. Light is an electromagnetic wave. Last one is very important. The electromagnetic and the weak nuclear force have been unified and are seen as aspects of single electroweak force. Electroweak force, that is the unification of electromagnetic force and weak nuclear force. And three scientists together contributed for this single force, that is electroweak force. The 3 scientists are shown in the table, 3 physicists, that is Glashow, Salam and Weinberg, just for your reference. Otherwise such tables need not be prepared from the examination point of view. Those 3 scientists, Glashow, Salam and Weinberg, showed that the weak nuclear force and the electromagnetic force could be viewed as different aspects of a single electroweak force. Just a minute. Just excuse me, wait for some time. Now, nature of physical laws. Certain sentences for objectives have to be quoted here. First point is, in any physical phenomenon governed by different forces, several quantities may change with time, but there are some special physical quantities which remain constant with respect to time, and they are called conserved quantities of nature. That is, the physical quantities which remain constant with respect to time, that is unchanged with respect to time, are called conserved quantities. For example, of such quantities are energy, then linear momentum, angular momentum, and charge. Now, next point is of no use. Now, this point is important. According to Einstein's theory, mass m is equivalent to energy E, capital E, given by relation capital E equal to mc square, small letters, where c is E equal to mc square, where c is speed of light in vacuum. In vacuum is important, or in free space. In a nuclear process, mass gets converted to energy or vice versa, and this is the energy which is released in a nuclear power generation and nuclear explosions. Next point. This is of no use. Now, energy is a scalar quantity, but all conserved quantities are not necessarily scalars. Means, conserved quantities can be vectors also. Here it's given the total linear momentum and the total angular momentum, both vectors, means linear momentum as well as angular momentum, both are vector quantities. Say, instead of the word linear momentum, you write simply momentum. Then also it will be indicated, understood as linear momentum only. The word linear not necessarily to write. So, this is the law of conservation of linear momentum and law of conservation of angular momentum. Say, here both the statements are combined together. Say, for linear momentum, the total linear momentum of an isolated system word is important. Isolated system means nothing can enter the system or nothing will be able to leave, leave the system. of an isolated system remains constant. In the case of angular momentum, the total angular momentum of an isolated system remains constant. Now next point. Using the conservation laws of energy and momentum for beta decay, Wolfgang Pauli, you can simply remember Pauli, he discovered the existence of a new particle called neutrino emitted in beta decay, which we have seen earlier in the case of weak nuclear force. Here it's written in beta decay along with the electron. These conservation laws have a deep connection with symmetries of nature. Symmetries of nature. It turns out that the symmetry of nature with respect to translation, that is displacement in time, is equivalent to the law of conservation of energy. Means due to translation in time, we have the law of conservation of energy. This is the reason for its existence. That is law of conservation of energy. Space is homogeneous. Now, before going to this point, we can say that both space and time are symmetric. Both space and time are symmetric. Space is homogeneous and there is no preferred location in the universe. No preferred location. Homogeneous means no preferred location. So, the laws of nature are the same everywhere in the universe. The phenomena, just a minute. The phenomena may differ from place to place. Phenomena may differ from place to place because of differing conditions at different locations. For example, acceleration due to gravity, which is denoted by small g, not given here, you can note it down, denoted by small g. So, small gm equal to 1 by 6 into GE, small letters. Again I repeat, GM equal to 1 by 6 GE. But the law of gravitation remains the same both on the moon and the earth. This symmetry of the laws of nature with respect to translation in space gives rise to law of conservation of linear momentum. So, we have seen that space is homogeneous and space is isotropic also. Due to as space is homogeneous, we have the law of conservation of linear momentum, and as space is isotropic, we have the law of conservation of angular momentum. Here it's given in the same way. Isotropy of space means no preferred direction in space underlies the law of conservation of angular momentum. Now Next point, and the last one, the conservation laws of charge can be related to certain abstract symmetries. Abstract symmetries means that the reason for its existence, that is the law of conservation of charge existence, is still unknown. But you can note down this point, not given here, but according to the scientist Dirac, D-I-R-A-C, according to the opinion of the scientist Dirac, D-I-R-A-C, Dirac, the law of conservation of charge may be due to isotropic nature of time, may be due to isotropic nature of time. And we have seen earlier that due to homogeneity of time, we have the law of conservation of energy. So, like this, all the fundamental laws of physics, that is law of conservation of linear momentum, law of conservation of angular momentum, law of conservation of energy, and law of conservation of charge, we have studied the existence of them as space and time both are homogeneous and isotropic. So, 4 fundamental laws of physics we have seen, and that finishes this chapter. Now, I make you aware of the types of questions asked in physics question paper. You can note down in your notebook, which will be helpful to prepare accordingly. First type, that is section A, objective questions, each of 1 mark, and all will be compulsory to attempt. Second type, that is section B, short questions, SQ, 2 marks each. Two marks each. This description is over. Just a minute. This is the end of the chapter. Now, sorry for the interruption. Second type, section B, short questions, SQ, 2 marks each. Generally, more theories and few small numericals. You can again quote down in bracket, generally more theories and few small numericals. And in this section, one or two options would be there from the same chapter. Say for example, in question number 2, there is option which is from chapter 2. Then in or also in question number 2, there the question will be from chapter 2 only. Third type, that is section C, long questions, that is LQ, 3 marks each. Into bracket, generally more numericals and few theories. More numericals and few theories. Here also one or two options from the same chapter. Fourth type and the last one, that is section D, very long questions, 4 or 5 marks each. In bracket, few very long theories and few long numericals with sub questions. And again I repeat, in bracket, few very long theories and few long numericals with sub questions generally. Now write down an assignment from this chapter. I dictate you the questions from this chapter. Of which you write the answers on your own. Question number 1. Objectives, 1 mark each. Question number 1. Dash and dash are the two fundamental constituents of universe. Here 4 options, alternatives would be given, that is MCQ type, but here I am not giving the options. Number 2, you simply remember the correct answers and fill up the blanks. Question number 2, dash and dash fundamental particles constitute the nucleus of an atom. Next, question number 3, the force acting between neutron and proton within the nucleus is called dash. Question number 4, dash and dash particles are emitted during the beta decay from the nucleus. Question number 5, due to homogeneity, I tell you the spelling, HOMOGENEITY, and isotropicity, I tell you the spelling, ISOTROPICITY, and isotropicity of space, we have the law of conservation of dash and the law of conservation of dash respectively. Question number 6. As time is homogeneous, comma, we have the law of conservation of dash. Question number 7. The basic reason behind the existence of the law of conservation of dash is still not known. Question number 8. Name the fundamental forces in nature. Up till now, there were fill in the blanks. Now here, very short questions. That is from question number 8, which I have already dictated. 1. Name the fundamental forces in nature. Question number 9. Name the fundamental laws in physics. Question number 10. Which fundamental forces are different aspects of electroweak, one word, interaction? Question mark. Question number 12. Question number 11. 8, 9, 10, 11. That is the fourth question in VSQ. 8, 9, 10 and 11. What is physics? Question number 12. What is plasma? Question mark. Question number 13. What is cryogenics? CRYOGENICS? Question mark. Cryogenics. Now, short questions. Question number 14. State Newton's universal law of gravitation with its mathematical expression. Full point. In the same question continue. Also write any two properties of gravitational force. 2 marks. 15. Question number 15th and the last one. Write a short note on electromagnetic force. 2 marks. Over. Now only 2 types of questions, that is 1 marker and 2 marker, generally asked from this chapter. That's all, and ends this chapter.